Hello there, Wipper here, and welcome back to another mod showcase. And today I'm going to be showing you the dual Hotbars mod, which does exactly what you'd expect it to do. Pretty much it enables you to have more hotbar slots to put whatever items you want in them, and you can access them instantly without having to open your inventory and swapping out the items when you require them. Oh, and by the way guys, I've never actually promoted my Twitter before, but I think it's finally time. I mean, I've had Twitter for ages and I've never actually promoted it, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, there is a link in the description, and I occasionally tweet something interesting, very occasionally, but you might want to follow me for video updates if you're wondering why there hasn't been many videos or something. So yeah, but anyway guys, if we can reach 600 likes on this mod showcase, that would be amazing. But let's go straight into this. So you can probably see at the bottom of my screen at the moment, I've got more hotbar slots than usual. I've got an entire extra row of hotbar slots, and if you're wondering how you can actually access these extra hotbar slots, it's quite simple. There's 3 different ways to do this. You can either use your scroll wheel to scroll along until you get to the slot you want, or you can press the number keys, so just press it once and it goes to the bottom bar, and if you press it again after that, it goes to the top bar. So it's just a double press of the number key to actually go to the top bar slot, and that's how it works. And there's a final method, which I find is a bit fiddly, but some of you may prefer it if you like having set keys to do something. You can press Control and then press the number key, and that will put you up to the top hotbar slot instead of the bottom one. And that's the 3 different ways that you can actually access this new bar at the top there. And by the way, there is also a configuration file for this mod, which enables you to change the presentation of this new hotbar row. You can have a massive hotbar across the bottom of your screen, you can just scroll along them, and it looks quite ridiculous, and if you've got a large GUI scale, it might not fit on your screen, so yeah, bear that in mind. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some examples of where this dual hotbar layout can actually come in handy. So first up, if you're building a kind of structure that has loads of different blocks, let me just see here, then you can just use all of these blocks without having to swap them out in your inventory. So if you want to build something with all of these different blocks to make something really ridiculous, like an amazing looking building, like so. Oh, this is going to be a beautiful building. Yeah, look at this masterpiece. It's a new floor design. But yeah, so if you happen to be building something that has loads of different materials and you can't be bothered to keep swapping, opening your inventory and swapping out the different blocks that you want to use, then this is a brilliant mod for you. You can just swap between them and go to whatever one you want with no problems at all. I do recommend using the double tap of the number key to actually access them, because it's a lot easier than the alternatives I showed you earlier. But yeah, so that's one example of how this could be useful. But next up, we've got my favorite one, because I often showcase mods that add new mobs into the game, and there's loads of spawn eggs for all of the new mobs, and I have to keep swapping them out in my inventory or loading up a different inventory save. Well, now I don't have to do that anymore, so you might see this mod featuring in some of my future videos when I'm showing you new mobs, because I can easily access all of the mob eggs, and I've got loads of additional space on my hotbar, so I can just swap to them and spawn them down like a magma cube or a bat. And I'm on peaceful, so that one didn't spawn, but you can see how this could be very useful. I can just swap back to the main one, spawn down a slime or something, and all of these are aggressive mobs, so I can't really show you that, but you know what I mean. So that could be one use for this. And then next up, we've got another use. So say you want to keep your bottom bar free and just for tools and weapons and stuff like that, and you can have your top bar for food items. So if you want to eat food, you can swap to your top bar and then eat the food and then swap back to your bottom bar. And also, if you've got a bow and arrow, then you can have your arrows displayed at the top bar, and then you can see how much ammo you've got left on the fly without having to open up your inventory like you'd normally have to do in Minecraft. And there's one thing I forgot to mention, and that is that when you open your inventory, the top bar of your hotbars is the top row of your inventory screen. So up here, you can see if I remove that, it removes out of the top bar of my hotbar. That's really confusing. Top hotbar. Yeah, it's the top hotbar. It's really confusing. It's confusing me, this terminology. But yeah, you can see there, this is the row that you need to put items in if you want them to display on the top hotbar. So yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, as you can see here, I've changed the config options so it's rendered in one massive row. So this is a super long, uber epic kind of hotbar with all of my items displayed and ready to use. And for some reason, the central hotbar slot is a bit darker. That's probably the overlap between the 2 different images. So it's a little bit darker than usual, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Pretty cool looking, and they've got loads of different slots to use, and it makes a lot more sense with the scrolling when it just scrolls from one end to the other and back again. That makes a lot more sense to me. And again, you can use the same keys to change to the different hotbar slots. So double tap 1 will go to this one, double tap 7 will go to that one, single tap 7 will go to that one, and that's how you can access all of the different slots, and that's what this one looks like. But now let's go on to the final one, where I'm going to give myself 4 rows of hotbar slots, which is pretty much my entire inventory ready to access, and I'll show you how that works and appears. So yeah guys, this looks pretty insane, doesn't it? I've got my whole inventory at my fingertips. I've just got my whole inventory displayed in my hotbar, and I can change to whatever row I want and access every single item I have in my inventory. So I can move this one here and delete that, and you can see I've got one pickaxe missing from the top row there. It's pretty much inversed, so the top row of your inventory is the bottom-most row of your hotbar, apart from this row here, of course. So this is the bottom, this is the top, if that makes any sense at all. And of course, the controls to actually access these extra slots are a bit different, because control 1 only puts you to the second row, and you can't go up any further than that using that control. The scroll wheel still works, as you can see there. I can scroll between all of my slots, and you can actually go to each individual row just by tapping the same number over and over again. So that's the second row, that's the third row, and that's the fourth row. And you're probably wondering at this point why I've got so many wooden pickaxes, and that's because I thought that some of you get rather attached to your wooden pickaxes, which are normally the first things you craft in Minecraft, apart from a crafting table, of course. So I thought, what better way to celebrate this by giving you 36 wooden pickaxes that you can access instantly whenever you want to use them. So if you hate having to swap out your wooden pickaxes every time they run out of durability and disappear, so you have to open your inventory and swap them out like that, well, now you don't have to worry about that, because you can just move on to the next wooden pickaxe, and you've got 36 different wooden pickaxes to use before you run out of them, without having to open your inventory a single time. Very, very useful. I cannot think of a more useful reason to install this mod than to use 36 wooden pickaxes without having to open your inventory. I mean, what could be better? Of course, I'm being completely ridiculous right now, but yeah. So that's pretty much everything in this mod. Pretty epic, very useful if you're building structures with loads of different materials in them and you don't want to have to deal with the pain of opening your inventory every time you need a different material that happens to not be in your hotbar, or maybe you just want to use loads of wooden pickaxes. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and if you have enjoyed this mod showcase, please remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be seeing you next time.